Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Follygon, and in this video, I'm going to be sculpting a creature. But before we do that, I'm going to be sculpting 10 different thumbnails. The idea there being spending 1 minute on each tiny little sculpt in an attempt to get some happy accidents, some interesting forms, and potentially something that we can turn into a creature later down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the first one here. I have a timer off to the side of the screen for 1 minute, and I guess we're going to see how this goes. Well, there is our first little thumbnail in 1 minute, whether successful or not. I think we have some pretty interesting shapes, which is our intent. We can even flip this upside down and play with it that way. There's maybe some more interesting things we could do with it in that direction, but this is only 1 of 10. Again, the purpose of this is to just very quickly get something on the canvas. I'm not even really thinking while I'm doing this. I'm just kind of making marks and seeing what comes of it. So let's go ahead and move on to the second one. All right, timer back on, and here we go. Wow, that 1 minute goes by super quick. I do not like this one as much as the last thumbnail. Maybe we flip it upside down, I don't know. But that is the point of these. You know, you're gonna have some that you enjoy, some that you do not. But the point is to have a large quantity so that you can have some interesting shapes to potentially pull from. I feel like in this one, maybe I spent a little bit too much kind of building up some shapes and not enough really kind of pulling out some forms. So I'll try to work on that in the next one, but let's go ahead and move on to number 3. And starting the timer in 3, 2, 1. All right, well, I don't really know what to say about this one. It feels like it's getting a little cartoony, which I will try to avoid. I'm not really sure what this is exactly. It feels kind of like a Shy Guy hat, and then it looks like maybe he's wearing some cartoony goggles with the mouth here. I want to be really careful that I don't stick to any preconceived shapes or ideas for, you know, a typical mouth, nose, eyes placement. So I have to be careful of that. Again, we're not trying to necessarily create a creature with these. We're just trying to create some shapes that can spark interest and help us create a creature later on once we find something that we really enjoy. All right, this one I'm going ham on. I don't know exactly what that means, but we're gonna try it. I actually like this one quite a lot. I'd say I'm so far tied with the first and this one. I think just kind of going a little bit crazy here with what is called the snake hook brush, which is that brush that lets me pull forms out super crazy like this. We can get some more interesting shapes pretty quick. Again, just trying to keep my brain away from seeing things like eyes, mouths, noses, etc. So that we can come up with something a little bit more unique. We don't want it to look like a human. That is not our intention at all, obviously, as we can see here. All right, moving on to number 5, it looks like. Awesome, let's continue from here. Definitely getting a little Rorschach-esque with this one, at least initially there. But I think this one turned out pretty cool as well. There's definitely some interesting shapes happening here. Whether we'll be able to use them, though, remains to be seen. All right, number 6, we are coming for you. We're already over halfway done. Let's keep the ball rolling. Well, we definitely have something here. Yeah, I don't really think there's too much to say about this one. I have had it be very interesting to As you've noticed, I've kind of smoothed out all of these objects back into some kind of more primitive form. And basing that primitive shape as a starting point to continue me into my next design has actually been really nice and helpful to just kind of very quickly create some very quick and more interesting shapes starting out at least. All right, we will muscle through number 7. Let's get started. This one's definitely a bit more boring. There's a lot less going on with it, but I wanted to experiment with trying out some more rounded forms, and I think that just kind of led to something that's a little bit too simplified to actually help with any inspirational forms. Originally, it was kind of starting to lean into an owl kind of face direction, and I wasn't liking that, and yeah, I think this one's kind of a big old failure. But these are just supposed to be inspirational for myself. Whether this is inspiring to me or not, I guess we'll find out here very soon. All right, I have 3 more still to do, and I'm just gonna go ahead and speed through those here really fast. Number 8, done. Moving on to number 9. This one feels a little more unique, almost more animalistic, feeling a bit more like a snout or something here. Who knows? Let's move on to our final one with number 10. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is the final one, so he's going to put all his efforts into this. But in fact, that is the opposite of what's going to happen. I am intentionally going to try to make this one the worst out of all of them. Let's do it. 1 minute on the clock. Last one. Here we go. Okay, so not absolutely horrible. I definitely see some interesting areas that kind of lead my brain in this area that feels very alien for sure. So maybe some interesting shapes there. And there they all are, beautiful. No, I'm only kidding. Hold on 1 second. So now I am going to choose one of these thumbnails to use as a starting point to attempt to sculpt some kind of creature. What's really awesome about this idea of creating all these different thumbnails is that it gives you a lot of interesting shapes to kind of play with. You could potentially even combine some of these to create something even more visually interesting. What I am seeing here with number 2, 3, and I think is number 7, yes. Those are probably the least interesting out of what I've created, so I'm going to go ahead and nix those, say that those are probably off the list. I am actually pretty surprised by how much I like the first one. There's definitely some inspirational shapes going on here. We can see kind of maybe some form of brow ridge or eye socket area, some kind of interesting mouth form. A lot to play around with there. I actually really like number 4. It feels a little bit more aquatic, maybe like some kind of squid shape or something there. Number 5 here maybe feels like something I could turn into some kind of plant-based creature. And some of these down at the bottom are maybe a little less inspirational. They just have quite a lot less going on. Yeah, I think this is going to be kind of tough to choose. I am going to say it's between number 1 and 4. Looking at those, I think I might be able to do something pretty interesting here with number 4. Here's our thumbnail view, and I did create, obviously this is a 3-dimensional sculpt, so there's some more information here for the profile. Definitely some interesting shapes that we can kind of pull from to try to make something fun. Emphasis there being on the word try. So from here, I'm going to spend, I'm thinking maybe 30 minutes to an hour in an attempt to refine this into some kind of actual creature. I have not done anything like this in a very long time, so I guess we're gonna see how it goes. I'm not nervous at all. This is going to go amazing, I'm sure. here is my final creature, whether successful or not. I definitely pulled a lot of fun inspiration from that original sculpt, which I can pull up and put on screen right over there in the corner. I really liked that top shape around what I was visualizing as a head to create some kind of hard shell type form or some kind of hat maybe. So I kind of pulled it in that direction. I started playing around and pulling with these shapes around the mouth, which felt kind of like a mustache or something to me. Pulling that down into some tentacle type forms, which I integrated with some kind of tentacle shapes around the head, creating what might allude to some kind of hairstyle. So that was really fun. I think you can definitely still see elements of the original sculpt there, the quick 1-minute thumbnail in this design. This was a really fun exercise, and if you guys are looking for ways to practice your creativity, your design sense, doing quick 1-minute thumbnails is a fantastic way to go about that approach. Let me know which of the thumbnails you guys enjoyed the most out of all 10. Maybe you could use one of those as inspiration for your own character sculpt. Honestly though, I think it's more fun to make your own. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making our little sculpt here. Maybe leave a comment down below with a name for this, whatever he is. And if you guys want to learn more about digital sculpting, check out gumroad.com/Follygon, where I have things like my custom brushes, materials, and online courses. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.